Honorable members, honorable speaker.
Members of the House, be seated. Honorable members, a very good morning to all of you. I cordially welcome you all to the monsoon session of the Youth Parliament, and I hope this session will be fruitful as we set out to delegate important matters concerning our nation. We'll start today's session with the oath of our newly elected members. Secretary General, please.
Miss Supriya Iramberthi, who stands elected from the Tiruvallur constituency of Tamil Nadu, will take the oath now. Madam, in which language would you like to take the oath?
Tamil, please. ஆர் சுப்ரியா இளம்பருதி என்னும் நான் இளைஞர் பாராளுமன்றத்தின் கீழ் சபை உறுப்பினராக தேர்ந்தெடுக்கப்பட்டு சட்டப்படி அமைக்கப்பட்ட இந்திய அரசியல் அமைப்பின்பால் உண்மையான நம்பிக்கையையும் மாறாப்பற்றும் கொண்டிருப்பேன் என்றும் இந்திய நாட்டின் இறையாண்மையையும் ஒருமைப்பாட்டையும் நிலைநிறுத்துவேன் என்றும் இந்திய நாட்டின் அரசியல் அமைப்பிற்கும் சட்டத்திற்கும் இணங்க எனது சொந்த வெறுப்பு விருப்புகளை விலக்கி பலதரப்பட்ட மக்கள் அனைவருக்கும் நேர்மையானதே செய்வேன் என்று எனது உரமாற உறுதியேற்கிறேன்.
Miss Srinidhi Kannan, who is elected from the Raipur constituency of Chhattisgarh, will take the oath now. Madam, in which language would you like to take the oath?
Hindi, please.
मैं श्रीनिधि कन्नन, जो युवा संसद की सदस्य निर्वाचित हुई हूँ, यह शपथ लेती हूँ कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगी और देश की संप्रभुता और एकता बनाए रखूंगी तथा जिस पद को मैं ग्रहण करने वाली हूँ उसके कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक निर्वहन करूंगी.
Honorable members, as we meet today, I inform with great sorrow the sudden demise of a former member, Sri Hari Singh. Sri Hari Singh was an active social and political worker, devoting his time and energy for the welfare of the agricultural laborers. He also strived hard for the upliftment of the people of the backward classes. He was an able parliamentarian and an effective orator. He took keen interest in the proceedings of the House, and above all, he was a great human being, working till his last days with the sole motive of service to the society. He passed away at New Delhi on 10th August 2023 at the age of 62.
Madam Speaker, I place on record before this august House that Sri Hari Singh Ji played a prominent role in the upliftment of the people of Lakshadweep. He arranged medical help for the common people of the island and took up the cause of their economic development through tourism promotion. He also helped increase awareness about the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan and increased participation in the various schemes under Atmanirbhar Bharat. He shall be remembered forever for all his deeds and his staunch support for the protection of the environment. I convey my deep condolences at his sudden demise.
Madam, I associate myself to the tributes made by you and the leader of the House. I am sorry to know about the sudden demise of our ex-minister, Mr. Hari Singh. He was a visionary who has always worked for the welfare of the needy. He also implemented n number of schemes successfully. My condolences to the bereaved family. We mourn the loss of him, and I'm sure that the House would join me in conveying our condolences.
I request the House to stand in silence for a minute to express our deep sorrow. The House to be seated. Secretary General to convey the message of condolences to the bereaved family.
Yes, madam.
Prime Minister to introduce new ministers.
Honorable Speaker, I have the pleasure of introducing to you, and through you to this House, my colleagues, the new ministers. Mr. Agash Kannan, Minister of Road Transport and Highways. Mr. Sujal Bhagwan Javare, Minister of Commerce and Industries.
The question hour starts. Question number 101, Mr. Mukund.
Honorable Speaker, as we have celebrated our 77th Independence Day recently, I would like to know how Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is focusing on critical areas of cultural and social development.
Yes, Minister of Culture.
Honorable Speaker, in view of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, I would like to light new themes that have been identified aligned with the Punch Plan announced by Honorable Prime Minister, which focuses on the critical and key areas of cultural and social development. They are as follows. Pran 1 is on goal of developed India, women and child welfare, tribal empowerment, health and wellness, and inclusive development. Pran 2 is on removal of colonial mindset for an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Pran 3 takes pride in our roots and cultural practices. Pran 4 is in unity and diversity, and Pran 5 is in sense of duty in citizens towards water and lifestyle for environment.
Question number 102, Mr. Sanjay.
Madam Speaker, Atmanirbhar Bharat against heavy foreign deficits and unemployment in India. How can the ruling party be celebrating independence in Atmanirbhar?
Madam Speaker, the government with a lot of foresight has brought in the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. The aim of the program is to systematically arrest the outflow of foreign exchange for imports by making India self-reliant or Atmanirbhar. The program addresses issues in the MSME sector, agriculture sector, food processing sector, infrastructure and rural employment directly by a total allocation of rupees 11,02,650 crores. The credit and other financial support to MSMEs amounting to rupees 5,94,550 crores proposes to cover working capital, subordinate debt, investment through alternate investment funds, liquidity to NBFCs and DISCOMs, and credit guarantee schemes. Apart from investing rupees 8,100 crore in infrastructure viability gap funding and increasing MGN REGA allocation by rupees 40,000 crore, the government will improve employment directly through Mudra Shishu loans, PM Swanidhi scheme for street vendors, Kisan credit cards, and additional working capital through NABARD. Madam Speaker, agriculture and allied sectors, including food processing, hold the key to food security and employment consolidation in our country. which is very important for achieving Atmanirbharta. The government has made arrangements to supply food grains to migrant workers, especially in the light of the COVID pandemic. Schemes for food processing have been dovetailed, combining the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund with primary processing activities and PMFME scheme for secondary processing of food-related activities. The Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana takes into account the requirements of our fisher folk with the aim of making them also Atmanirbhar. So, Madam Speaker, I would like to assure the Honourable Member and this august House that the government has taken necessary steps in all sectors to address the issues of unemployment and foreign deficits. Thank you.
Question number 103, Ms. Mehavarshini.
Honorable Speaker, may we all know what are the programs planned by the ruling party for the next 5 years?
Yes, Minister of Finance.
Speaker Madam, let me tell the members of this parliament that we have planned not just for 5 years, but for the next 25 years, which we call as Amrit Kal. And yes, Vision for Amrit Kal is an empowered and inclusive economy with strong public finances and robust financial sector. To achieve this, Jan Bhagidari through Sabka Saath, Sabka Prayas is very essential. The economic agenda for achieving this vision would focus on 3 priorities. Number 1, facilitating ample opportunity, especially for youth, to fulfill their aspirations. Number 2, providing strong impetus to growth and job creation. Number 3, strengthening the macroeconomic stability. To service these focus areas in country's journey to India at 100, the budget identifies 4 transformative opportunities. Number 1, economic empowerment of women through 81 lakh self-help groups. Number 2, Pradhan Mantri Vishwakarma Kaushal Samman, which is a new scheme for traditional artisans and craftspeople, generally referred to as Vishwakarma. Number 3, tourism promotion in mission mode. The sector holds huge opportunities for jobs and entrepreneurship for youth in particular, and there's a large potential to be tapped in tourism. Number 4, green growth efforts that helps in reducing the carbon intensity of the economy, and there's a large-scale green job opportunities also. Madam, we are implementing many programs like green fuel, green energy, green farming, green mobility, green buildings, and other policies for efficient use of energy across various economic sectors. Saptarishi, the 7 guiding priorities of budget 2023-24. The first budget in Amrit Kal will be guided by 7 priorities which are complement to each other. Number 1, inclusive development. Number 2, infrastructure and investment. Number 3, unleashing the potential. Number 4, green growth. Number 5, youth power. Number 6, financial sector. And number 7, reaching the last mile. Thank you.
Question number 104, Ms. Gayatri.
Speaker Madam, we are aware of the recent floods in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and many other parts of the country. Many people lost their lives and property. What are the steps taken by the government in this regard?
Yes, Minister of Environment and Climate Change.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, the state has taken adequate measures to help the victims. Our non-profit partners are reaching the remote areas of the state affected by the flood to help the flood affected people. The union government is providing funds to investigate the hardship being faced by the affected people. The centers will bear 90% of its expenses on relief and rehabilitation program.
Madam Speaker, I am glad that steps on rehabilitation have been taken. But how about school children? During this calamity, many students lost their books and suffered the loss of classes. What is the reaction of the government to this?
Honorable Speaker, instructions have been given to state education departments to distribute fresh notebooks, textbooks, and other study materials to children accommodated in hundreds of relief camps. Further, instructions have been given to conduct special classes online or offline to make up for the missed classes.
Now, the question hour is over. No more supplementary questions, please. Now, we'll take up the calling of attention motion. Miss Vanilla, please.
Thank you. Madam, I would like to draw the attention of this House to Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas. This is the most important manifestation of the spirit of the Constitution. A government dedicated to its Constitution does not discriminate in development. India is the only country on the course to achieve the goals of the Paris Agreement ahead of time. And yet, in the name of environment, various pressures are created on India. This is all due to a colonial mentality. Due to such a mentality, many obstacles are put in the way of the development of our own country. Sometimes in the name of freedom of expression, and sometimes with the help of something else. On the strong foundation of separation of power, we have to pave the path of collective responsibility, create a roadmap, determine goals, and take our country to its destination. Today, the poor are getting the access to quality infrastructure which was once limited to resourceful people. And also, the government of India has as much focus on the development of Ladakh, Andaman, and other undeveloped states. Thank you.
Now, we'll take the breach of privilege motion.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, I would like to present the breach of privilege motion on MP Shri Hemant Kumar. He is alleged by many of our party members that he is not attending the parliament session. And even when he does attend, he leaves the house in middle of the session. As a senior member of the house, he shouldn't be criticized in this manner. And on this regard, I would like to say such types of remarks are to be condemned immediately. And therefore, I submit these allegations for your kind attention.
Yes, Miss El Swati, I shall definitely consider this and take action accordingly. Yes, Miss Janani?
Madam Speaker, a serious breach of privilege has been committed by the leading newspaper of Delhi while commenting on the recommendation of Public Account Committee. The papers have attributed dishonest motive, and I have requested you to allow me to raise a question on that matter now.
Have you taken notice of this earlier, Miss Janani? You may give due notice and a copy of the newspaper cutting. Then I shall consider this. You may not spring up a surprise on me like this.
Yes, madam. I have already given a notice of it at 10 a.m. today.
Then it shall be considered. Let me know of the decision later. Now, papers to be laid. Minister of Urban Development.
Madam, I beg to lay on the table a copy of each of the following papers, Hindi and English versions, under subsection 619A of the Companies Act 1956. 1. Review by the government on the working of the National Mineral Development Corporation Limited, Hyderabad, for the year 2022-2023. 2. Annual report of the National Mineral Development Corporation Limited, Hyderabad, for the year 2022-23, along with the audited accounts, Commerce Controller, and the Auditor General thereon. Thank you.
Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment.
Madam Speaker, I request to lay on the table a copy of the papers related to report by following. 1. Identification of industrial sector promising for commercialization of solar energy. Number 2. Market assessment of solar water heating in the Himalayan regions. Number 3. About the Delhi International Renewable Energy Conference.
Secretary to report message from the upper chamber of the Youth Parliament.
Madam, I would like to report the following messages received from the Secretary of the Upper Chamber of the Youth Parliament. In accordance with the provision of the rules of procedure and conduct of business in the upper house of Youth Parliament, I am directed to enclose a copy of Data Protection Bill 2023, which has been passed by the upper chamber at its sitting held on 8th August 2023.
Secretary General to lay on the table a copy of the bill as passed by the upper chamber.
Madam Speaker, I lay on the table Data Protection Bill 2023 as passed by the upper chamber.
Honorable Ministers, there's an announcement. On my own behalf of the honorable members of the House, I would like to extend a warm welcome to His Excellency Suren Gade, the Speaker of the Dandish Parliament, and Miss Lily, Deputy Speaker of the Dandish Parliament. They are on a visit to India as our esteemed guests. Will be staying here for a week. We wish them a happy and fruitful stay at our country, and we convey through them to Her Majesty the Queen of Denmark, the Danish Parliament, the government, and the friendly people of Denmark our warm wishes and greetings. Now, we'll take up short notice questions. Yes, Mr. Navneet Bala?
Madam Speaker, my question is to the Honorable Minister of Education. Kendra Vidyalaya is offering a good quality of education to all the children of transferable central government employees, including paramilitary and defense personnel, by providing a common program of education. Furthermore, I would like to know, currently, how many Kendra Vidyalayas are there in India and abroad? What are the admission rules in different classes for these schools? Additionally, I would like to know whether these rules are strictly followed or there is some relaxation in the name of special dispensation available to the authorities of Kendra Vidyalayas.
Yes, Minister of Education?
Honorable Speaker, as of April 2023, there are 1,253 schools in India and 3 in abroad. I repeat, 1,253 schools in India and 3 in abroad, in Tehran, Kathmandu and Moscow. And as per KVS admission guidelines, the minimum age is 6 years and the maximum is 8 years of age, with a 2-year relaxation time in upper age of differently abled applicants. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Lomesh?
Madam Speaker, my question is to the Honorable Minister of Railways. Nowadays, traveling in a train are creating a panic among the passengers. Theft, dacoity has become the most common pictures in railways. Now, I would like to know about the steps being taken by the government.
Madam, in case of theft of luggage, robbery or dacoity in running trains, a passenger can approach train conductors, coach attendants, guards or GRP escorts. They will give up FIR form which may be duly filled in and handed over to them. That complaint will be forwarded to the police station for necessary action. If your luggage is stolen during the journey in the train, you can get a compensation for your theft belongings. Not only this, you can also approach Consumer Forum.
Yes, Ms. Devananda?
Madam Speaker, will the Honorable Minister of Defence be pleased to state when were the first Jaguars flown into India? What factors, if any, were taken into consideration for the purchase of the Jaguar aircrafts?
Speaker Madam, 44 years ago, on July 27, 1979, the first 2 Jaguar aircrafts landed in India. Jaguars are still relevant as it has an excellent cockpit visibility that makes deep ingress in the adversary territory below the radar detection range. Its excellent combat range on the low fuel consumption is welcoming. It is estimated that approximately 80 Jaguar jets are currently operational in the Indian Air Force.
Yes, Ms. P. Janani?
Madam Speaker, the recent pandemic has created a great impact on our society. Many people have lost their jobs and lives.
Please come to the point.
Yes, madam. I could like to ask the Finance Minister about the price hikes in essential commodities.
Sure. What my friend asked is a very valid question, and I'm glad to see this concern. But madam, the price rising of food and fuel is not only in our country, but globally in and around the world. The price rising of food and fuel had made it worse during the Russia-Ukraine war and not during the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic just added more fuel to the fire, madam. And these are the following steps taken by the government initially. Number 1, the government announced a tax cut of rupees 8 per litre of petrol and rupees 6 per litre of diesel. Number 2, the 3 states, Kerala, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, also announced a reduction on state taxes. Number 3, the government reduced the tax cut for raw materials and inputs for steel and plastic industry. Number 4, also, madam, also under the Ujjwala Yojana, the government granted rupees 200 per cylinder subsidy. Madam, this will benefit about 9 crore beneficiaries. And number 5, India slapped a ban on wheat exports for food security. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Shivachandiran?
Madam Speaker, my question was about the newspaper article from the Indian Express dated 20th July 2023 related to adulterated grains being sold at a ration shop in Uttar Pradesh. If it is true, what is the reaction of the government?
Madam, in order of Prevention of Food Adulteration Acts of 1954 shop has been seized and concerned authorities will be punished under this act. Punishment is 6 months imprisonment with fine. In all the states, the adulteration rate has come down. Uttar Pradesh is one among them. It's really unfortunate that it happened in Uttar Pradesh. I'll see to that such actions will not be encouraged and will not happen in the future, and strict actions will be taken against those convicts. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Saumitra?
Madam Speaker, I have a question for the Sports Minister. What steps have they taken to promote sports and fitness among the youth in the schools and society?
Certainly, Madam Speaker. In India, some implemented schemes to promote sports and fitness include Khelo India, encourages sports among students through events like Khelo India Youth Games. Fit India Movement promotes fitness in daily life through activities and campaigns. NSTSS, National Sports Talent Search Scheme, identifies and nurtures sporting talent. Rajiv Gandhi Khel Abhiyan focuses on sports development in rural areas. Sports Authority of India, SAI Centers, offers elite athletes and facilities. National Physical Fitness Drive raises awareness about fitness importance. Target Olympic Podium Scheme, TOPS, sports athletes for Olympic success. These initiatives aim to nurture, enhance sports culture and promote fitness nationwide.
Yes, Ms. Ananya Mahathi?
Madam Speaker, I don't think they have raised any awareness regarding sports or fitness among rural people or people living in remote areas.
Madam Speaker, the Khelo India scheme, in addition to its broader goals, has a specific focus on promoting sports among rural and tribal youth. By incorporating initiatives like the sports for tribal and rural youth, efforts are made to engage with these communities and provide them with opportunities for sports and fitness involvement, contributing to the holistic development. The Sports Authority of India, SAI, and the Special Area Game Scheme, SAG, under Khelo India, focuses on identifying and nurturing sports talent from rural, tribal, and remote areas. While this scheme is aimed at extending sports opportunities to these communities, there is still a need to enhance awareness and accessibility to ensure its effectiveness in promoting sports and fitness among these populations.
Yes, Ms. Divyashri?
Speaker Madam, from a very long time, our government has been telling that they will give employment to every youth of the country. But still, our youth is struggling without jobs. What happened to their promises? If this situation continues, what will be the situation of our youth?
Madam Speaker, I'm glad to say that employment opportunities are gearing up in our country. The government is working towards providing employment to every section of our country, and to expect such a wide-scale plan to finish within a day or have immediate results is foolish. Madam Speaker, now I'd like to pass this matter on to the Minister of Labour and Employment since she can provide more insight on the matter.
Madam Speaker, I would like to inform the House that the government is taking the following steps to increase employment. Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Protsahan Yojana, Mahatma Gandhi राष्ट्रीय रोजगार गारंटी अधिनियम द्वारा ग्रामीण तथा शहरी क्षेत्रों में रोजगार के अवसर प्रदान कराए जा रहे हैं। धन्यवाद।
No more questions, please. Now we'll take up legislative business. Minister of Home Affairs to introduce the bill.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move Delhi Services Bill, officially known as the National Capital Territory of Delhi Bill 2023. The features of the bill are: the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Bill 2023 wants to restore the centre's control over the bureaucracy in the nation's capital, which is both a city and a union territory. The bill gives the central government control over the appointment, transfer and posting of bureaucrats in the Delhi government.
Play with the parliament like a toy, as they can do anything because they have powers.
Member, please sit down. Honorable Minister, you may continue.
The Delhi Services Bill puts inquiries and suspension of officials in Delhi under the control of central government. The lieutenant government will have sole discretions over various matters, including recommendations from the Civil Service Authority and decisions related to the Delhi Legislative Assembly.
Speaker, Madam, this bill seeks to diminish the power of an elected government.
Member, please sit down. Minister, continue.
The Delhi Services Bill puts the National Capital Civil Service Authority will comprise the Chief Secretary of Delhi, the Principal House Secretary of Delhi and the Delhi Chief Minister. There will be JSCs, as in Joint Selection Communities, to appoint bureaucrats in the Delhi government. The JSC will have equal representation from the Delhi and the central government. At the end, I would like to say that the main aim of this bill is to bring clarity in the existing arrangement of appointment, transfer and posting of bureaucrats in the Delhi government.
Madam Speaker, there should be no compromise with the government on the bill of Delhi Services. Ordinance, we can say it is like a murder of democracy.
Madam Speaker, I would like to inform this House that this bill does not have any reasons to take power from the Delhi government. I would like to pass this bill in the House.
Those who are in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those who are against it, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted.
Madam, I move bill to be passed.
Motion moved. The bill is passed. Honorable Minister of Tribal Welfare to introduce the bill.
महोदया, मैं अनुसूचित जनजाति संशोधन विधेयक 2023 सदन के पटल पर प्रस्तुत करना चाहता हूँ। यह बिल 1950 के अनुसूचित जनजाति में संविधान संशोधन करने पर केंद्रित है। ये आदेश उन जनजातियों और आदिवासी समुदाय को निर्दिष्ट करता है जिन्हें देश में अनुसूचित जनजाति माना जाता है। उत्तर प्रदेश के 4 जिलों में गोंड समुदाय को एससी सूची से हटाकर एसटी सूची में शामिल किया गया है और झारखंड के बोगोटा जाति को एसटी सूची में जोड़ा गया है।
Madam Speaker, in our country, there are various other communities from other states wanting to be included in the ST list. Then why is priority being given to a few communities in particular?
Madam Speaker, our government is working towards all states in the country, and we are well aware of the fact that many communities have been looking forward toward their inclusion in the ST list. The communities currently considered for the bill have been suffering for a long time with inadequate education and health facilities. So it is the hour of time to look into their matter. The list will be amended time to time based on the request given by the states.
Those who are in favor, please say aye. Those who are against it, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted.
Madam, I move the bill to be passed.
Motion moved. The bill is passed. Now, the House will take up private member resolutions. Ms. Deepika to introduce the resolution.
Madam, I move the following resolution. This House recommends that the government should take steps to combat effectively the spreading menace of drugs and narcotics which are degenerative to the nation, especially the younger generation, and to make institutional arrangements for the rehabilitation of drug addicts. I feel that the main reason for the increased usage of drugs in our country is because it has become a center for international drug trafficking. In their greed for power and money, these criminals do not even hesitate to ruin the life of thousands. Madam, this is not a simple law and order or health problem. This is a problem which has to be tackled on many fronts by the government. I would place the following suggestions before the government. Firstly, there should be a coordinated action with the ministries of Home Affairs, Health and Family Welfare, and Law and Justice. Secondly, the existing penalty under law is too less. This is a business in which crores are earned in a matter of hours. Putting a rupees 2 lakh penalty or a few years sentence is not enough. Punishment for such offences should be made more severe, and government should take steps to amend the existing laws on this. Thirdly, the Ministry of Home Affairs should ensure that drugs are not smuggled in and out of the country through our international borders. The local police forces should also be made to take up this issue seriously. There should be a severe crackdown on drug peddlers operating near educational institutions. The government should also mount adequate advertisement campaigns through exhibition, TV, radio, newspapers, etc. People should be educated and made aware of the dangers of drug addiction. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I congratulate the mover of the resolution, Ms. Deepika, as well as other honorable members who have accepted on the resolution for focusing at the altar of public opinion, one of the vital social and health issues facing the country today. The purpose of my intervention is to place before the House the various laws and efforts made by various departments of government to combat the serious menace. Madam, under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985, it enhances the punishment of rigorous imprisonment from 10 to 20 years and a fine of rupees 2 lakh for the first time. Even attempted abetment and conspiracy have become cognizable and entail the same punishment. Rewards for informers who contribute to detection and seizure has been enhanced from 10 to 20%. Special cells have been created in all custom collectorates of the country. A vigorous publicity campaign has been launched. The Finance Ministry has made available rupees 15 lakh for this mass motivational and educational movement being planned. I would like to call upon the political parties to come forward and start mass movements. Movements involving youth, women, students and other public organizations to come forward and help our government fight the scourge of drug abuse, which has the potential to disrupt very social fabric of our country. Madam, in the view of the efforts undertaken by the government facing this problem, I would like to request Ms. Deepika to withdraw her resolution.
Madam Speaker, I am grateful to the honorable members for lending support to my resolution. In view of the assurance given by the honorable minister, and since a law has already been enacted to deal with this menace, I feel that the government will take all stringent measures to eliminate this problem. Therefore, I may be allowed to withdraw my resolution.
Has the Honorable leave of the House to withdraw her resolution? The resolution by the leave of the House is withdrawn. Now, the House is adjourned to meet again tomorrow at 11 a.m.